Welcome to Timeless Whispers, where today we're traveling back thousands of years to a place of mystery, ingenuity, and resilience, the island of Sardinia. Nestled in the heart of the Western Mediterranean, Sardinia is more than beaches, sunny ports, and towering mountains. Beneath its modern charm lies a deep, ancient story, one told by stone towers, giant tombs, and a civilization that predate.
The Nuragic civilization gets its name from the iconic Nuraghe, massive stone towers scattered across the island. Over 7,000 of these structures dot Sardinia's landscape today. They are more than ruins. They are monuments to the creativity, organization, and spirit of a people who thrived between roughly 2300 and 500 BCE.
These early Sardinians were skilled builders. They raised stone towers, constructed elaborate tombs, and established trade routes that stretched across the Mediterranean. Their society wasn't just local, it was connected. Obsidian, tin, and copper from Sardinia reached communities as far as modern Spain, southern France, and even
The Nuragic people seem to have originated in Sardinia after the Neolithic Stone Age, around 2400 BCE. Early settlements were small, but they already displayed advanced skills in pottery and metalworking. By 2000 BCE, the first Nuraghes began to appear. These proto-Nuraghes were fortress-like towers built on strategic hills, signaling both defensive awareness and social organization.
Interestingly, Sardinia was not isolated. Archaeologists have found similar towers in nearby Corsica, suggesting cultural connections across islands. While the islanders were united by a shared culture, there were regional variations in burial practices and metallurgy, pointing to decentralized, clan-based communities.
During this early Bronze Age, agriculture, animal husbandry, and local crafts form the core of daily life. Bones of cattle and sheep found inside Nuraghe suggest that these towers doubled as storage, living spaces, and possibly even animal pens. The Nuragic people were laying the groundwork for a civilization that would leave a
As Sardinia's population grew, massive collective tombs known as Tombe di Giganti, or Tombs of the Giants, appeared. Hypogea, underground burial structures, were also constructed. Both reflected complex spiritual beliefs and a growing social organization. By trading metals and other goods across the Mediterranean, the Nuragic people were not just surviving.
By the 18th century BCE, Sardinia experienced a dramatic expansion. The early Bronze Age Nuraghe evolved into more sophisticated structures, showing advances in both engineering and social organization. Settlements increased across uplands and lowlands, reflecting population growth.
The proto-Nuraghe of this era were fortress-like, built on high ground to protect clans from rival groups. Yet social organization remained decentralized. There were no kings or centralized states, just interconnected families managing local territories. Agriculture, metalworking, and trade were central to everyday life. Copper, tin, and obsidian were key exports, connecting Sardinia. By the 13th century BCE, the Nuragic civilization entered its golden age. Single-tower Nuraghe were joined by multi-towered complexes with courtyards, administrative spaces, and workshops. These were not just homes, they were hubs of social, economic, and possibly religious activity. Villages expanded around them, reflecting rising prosperity. Trade was booming. Sardinian tin and obsidian reached Iberia, North Africa, and Sicily. Sardinians navigated the seas with skill, establishing connections that made them a respected maritime power. Even during the so-called Bronze Age collapse in the Eastern Mediterranean, when civilizations like the Hittites, Mycenaeans, and Egyptians fell, Sardinia flourished.
Cultural connections extended to Corsica and the Balearic Islands, hinting at shared architectural styles and ideas. Nuragies in Sardinia began resembling Torii towers in Corsica and talayat structures in the Balearics, demonstrating a network of Western Mediterranean exchange.
Economically, the Nuragic people specialized in metals, pottery, and agriculture. Their wealth allowed for ritual practices reflected in sacred sites, sanctuaries, and large tombs. The society, while clan-based, likely had regional elites overseeing trade, rituals, and construction projects.
During the 10th to 8th centuries BCE, Nuragic society entered a period of consolidation. Construction of new Nuraghe slowed, but rituals, trade, and social hierarchies intensified. Large, multi-towered Nuraghe acted as centers for administration, production, and religious activity.
Economically, Sardinia's reach stretched across the Mediterranean. Nuragic tin, obsidian, and pottery were traded to Iberia, southern France, and beyond. Sanctuaries revealed offerings of bronze statuettes, some depicting horned warriors or bearded figures, possibly leaders or deities. Water worship was central, with sacred springs and ritual saunas indicating a spiritual connection to nature and fertility. Nuragic society appears to have been clan-based, with regional elites coordinating trade, agriculture, and defense. The interior of the island likely remained semi-autonomous, while coastal areas engaged in extensive trade networks. There may have been special roles, warriors, priests, and merchants, but evidence is limited.
The society balanced economic growth with spiritual life. Tombs, hypogia, and ritual sites reflect reverence for ancestors and the supernatural. Sardinia's spiritual sophistication matched its metallurgical and seafaring skills. But all this would soon face outside pressure. In the Iron Age, Phoenicians, Carthaginians, and later Romans would arrive, reshaping the island's history forever.
From the 9th century BCE, Phoenician traders appeared on Sardinia's coasts, seeking metals and safe harbors. Their settlements introduced new technologies, pottery, and cultural influences. Trade flourished, especially in southern ports.
Eventually, Carthage rose to dominate Phoenician settlements. Carthaginian control brought taxation, military posts, and administrative oversight. Coastal Sardinia became increasingly linked to Carthage's Mediterranean empire, while inland Nuragic clans resisted foreign control. Conflicts were frequent, but trade and cultural exchange persisted.
The Nuragic people remained formidable, particularly in the rugged interior. Clans retained their traditions, while coastal areas adapted to new economic realities. Carthage's influence created a patchwork society, a mix of Nuragic resilience and foreign integration.
In 238 BCE, Rome annexed Sardinia from a weakened Carthage. The island was strategically vital, controlling sea routes, ports, and resources. But taking the coast was the easy part. The interior mountains, home to Nuragic descendants, resisted fiercely.
Roman campaigns led by generals like Titus Manlius Torquatus faced ambushes, harsh terrain, and organized tribal resistance. For nearly a decade, Rome struggled to pacify the interior. Rebellions erupted repeatedly, and local clans maintained autonomy in the highlands. Despite these challenges, Rome established Sardinia as a province. Coastal towns grew under Roman administration, trade expanded, and Roman law and culture spread. Yet the spirit of the Nuragic people persisted, especially in the mountains, where Roman authority was limited. Under Rome, Sardinia's coastal cities flourished. Corrales, Olbia,
and Nora saw forums, temples, baths, and markets emerge. Roads connected towns, facilitating trade and troop movements. Villas produced grain, wine, and olives for export. Latin law, Roman names, and culture became common among coastal populations.
Inland tribes, descendants of the Nuragic civilization, retained traditions and resisted full Roman control. They engaged in occasional rebellions, raids, and ambushes. Sardinia also became a destination for exiles and laborers, further diversifying its population.
By the 5th century CE, with the fall of the Western Roman Empire, Sardinia had transformed. From ancient Nuragic towers to Roman cities and Christian basilicas, the island evolved yet preserved its identity. The Nuragic spirit survived in rural and mountainous areas, a testament to a culture that refused to vanish. Sardinia's story reminds us that civilizations rise, adapt, and endure, leaving legacies that echo across millennia. Today, the Nuraghe stand tall, silent witnesses to a people whose ingenuity, spirit, and resilience shaped the Mediterranean world.
Timeless Whispers invites you to explore these stories, uncover forgotten civilizations, and connect with the past that still whispers to us today.